48 states road trip. That's right. A road trip that covers all 48 states. Hey, I wanted the road trip to include all 50 states, but it's pretty hard to drive over the Pacific Ocean. My Toyota Prius is a hybrid, not a submarine. Canada. So I was intending to fly to Alaska and then to Hawaii, but look at, we instead traveled 48 states road trip. I'm Stan Jaden and I'm chasing the American Echo Dream, or I was chasing the American Echo Dream in a Toyota Prius. Yes. Today and for the next week, I'm going to share with you some really, I think, great moments of travel across the United States. Look at this, started in 2017, about May of 2017. Live in Mesa, and it started basically when I crossed from Phoenix into California along Interstate 10 going west from Blythe, California, along Indio. All right, at Indio is where the journey really began, the road trip. Yes, I had already traveled a couple hundred miles, but I was somewhere around Indio, right here in California, when I got a call from my nephew, Michael, who said, hey, why don't I come out and visit him in New York? Well, upper New York. So I thought about it, and it just struck me as something that maybe, hey, why not do? Why not just do it? So I said, okay, why not? I'll just go all the way from Huntington Beach. So I decided that time I was on my way to visit my aunt in Lancaster. She lived in Lancaster, and she has passed away at this time. And I tell you what, I decided here at Indio that I was going to drive all the way to Huntington Beach, and we'll start there at Huntington Beach. Okay. So, from a message from my nephew in New York, he says, why don't I come all the way? I said, sure. I have an appointment in Iowa and then another appointment in Greensboro, North Carolina. Why don't I just start the drive and see if I can go through all 48 states? So that's what the road trip is all about. Okay, so I'm excited as I continue my drive from here at Indio, right here at Indio, and I drive along Interstate 10, and I go up here, and then actually, I think I took 60 down here, and then I went all the way to Newport Beach, and then up to Huntington Beach North, Huntington Beach. And then I spent the night there at Huntington Beach at a hotel. I don't remember the name, but I spent it there. And I says, well, okay, I'll sleep for the night. And then the next day, I'm going to go up and tour the beach. The next day, after having, let's say, a little bit of breakfast at the hotel, I went up to North Huntington Beach, California, and I had an idea in mind that I wanted to start from the West Coast of the Pacific Ocean and go all the way to the north part of the United States, and then to the east part of the United States, the Atlantic Ocean, then to the south along the Gulf of Mexico. And each one of those times I would make a stop and I would put a square 6 in the sand, meaning that I would take a deep breath, 6 counts up, hold it for 6 counts across, and then exhale for 6 counts down, and then another 6 counts down across again. So in other words, a 6 square type of meditation where I could hear the waves as they come into the beach, and hear the seagulls and hear everything, and hear even the stick as it scrapes the numbers into the sand. Okay, so after making my mark in Huntington Beach, then I went up through a freeway to 5, Interstate 5, and then went here up through 14. And then I spent a couple of days in Lancaster, California. And so, really, there's not much in Lancaster except I think these are poppies or whatever. Spent some time there visiting my aunt. And so that was it. My sister joined me. We spent some time together. And then I went on to Mojave and then to Barstow. I spent the night in Barstow, California, because I wanted to overlook some land that my aunt and uncle had said they purchased many moons ago. And I just wanted to see if what they had to say was correct. Okay, that's it. A time in Barstow, California. I did spend the night in Barstow, California, and I did get a haircut at Joe's barbershop. And boy, did he talk my ear off. I tell you what, he did. But it was a good conversation. And then afterwards, I went on to having some Mexican food at a Chinese, no, not at a Mexican restaurant. Anyway, then I went along that day along Interstate 40, and I went then I went up 40 to 95 and then over to Laughlin, because then I knew I was getting into Nevada. I wanted to make sure I was in Nevada as part of my 48 state tour, because I didn't know, I had no plans on the route that I was going to take when doing my 48 state tour. And so I went to Bullhead City, Laughlin. I ate at a casino there, and also went through Bullhead City. And then I went down 95 and crossed over to Arizona about here. And then I went through Lake Havasu City, and then on to Parker and on to Quartzsite and Interstate 10 back into Mesa, Arizona, where I was home here in Mesa, Arizona. Thank you so much for joining me on this part 1 of 7 parts to a road trip across the United States, 48 states road trip. And I tell you what, right now I have finished to Mesa, Arizona, and we have only done 3 states so far. And I appreciate that you have joined with me so far. Okay, so if you have any questions, please leave a comment in the comment box. I would appreciate it. And stay tuned for 6 more segments, because I've got a lot more in store for you. Thank you, and have a great day, because we have only covered 3 states and we got 45 more to go. Thanks for joining.